A murderer tried to escape prison disguised as a sheep. North Korea orders residents with the same name as Kim Jong-un's daughter to change it. And what are the best cars to have sex in? These are the weird stories for Thursday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian inside a closet. Got some weird stories for you from around the world. Let's do it. A murderer tried to escape prison disguised as a sheep. Very inventive. It says there are disguises, and then there are disguises, and then there's this one. Convicted murderer Jose Luis Calisaya Diaz thought he found the perfect way to escape a maximum security prison in Bolivia. How do you ask? Well, by disguising himself as a sheep. I don't even know where you get sheep costumes into prison. I'm assuming he made it out of like mattress innards. Let's keep reading and learning here. The wolf in sheep's clothing used a fleece coat to sneak past. A fleece coat? Is that enough? I don't think. I'm looking at the picture here. He does not look like a sheep with that coat wrapped around him. It's like he turned it inside out. And this is the most pathetic sheep costume I've ever seen. Not that I've seen a lot of sheep costumes. Yeah, I've watched enough Monty Python to see a few grown men dressed as sheep. This ain't going to cut it, bro. But I mean, I guess it partially worked because he used this fleece coat slash sorry-ass sheep impression to sneak past security guards. And he even made it out to a field, it says. But that's where you want to go. You want to go right to a field so they don't get suspicious. Did that sheep just leave the prison security? No, it's going to a field, though, so it's probably okay. That's where sheep usually hang out. So nothing to see here. So while he was in a field, he was caught crawling around on all fours, impersonating the farmyard, the farmyard animal. He wanted to make it look legit, you know? Probably was found with some grass inside his mouth as well, just to make it authentic, I imagine. Like, I want to imagine that the guards caught him and he was like, well, no, hold on, I'm legit. Milk me and see. It says here, Diaz is serving 15 years for murder. He thought this sheep disguise and the cold weather provided him with the perfect cover to escape. But the guards quickly noticed that he was not in his cell, and they scrambled to find him. Now, it did not take them long to work out that one of the sheep in the field looked rather out of place. Well, it sounds like there was multiple sheep in the field, so he was just trying to blend in with the rest of them. It says here perhaps his jeans were a giveaway. Yeah, because he's got jeans from the waist down. This is pathetic. Wow, man. Well, I mean, give him some credit. He tried to do what he could. He just couldn't pull the wool over their eyes, you know, at the end of the day. Because it was a bad disguise, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to be kidding me with this one. And no doubt Diaz is going to spend about twice as much time behind bars. Yay! North Korea bans girls from having the same name as Kim Jong-un's daughter. Authorities in North Korea are reportedly forcing girls and women who share the same name as Kim Jong-un's daughter to change their identities to something else. This is according to some questionable news sites, though, apparently. This could be fake news. It's been known for various outlets to put out some anti-North Korea propaganda, but nonetheless, it's pretty weird. Possibly could be true. They do some crazy things over there. Do you remember when Kim Jong-un claimed that North Korea invented the burrito? So I'm not going to put it past him to ban people from naming their daughter after his daughter. Let's keep reading, though. The Supreme Leader's daughter's name is Ju-A. So anyone with the name Ju-A, sorry, everyone. I know it's a beautiful, lovely name. You're going to have to change it to Mildred or something else. So Kim Jong-un's daughter, Ju-A, she's believed to be around 10 years old. This is the latest part of the regime's effort in isolating this young girl from the rest and to build an air of mystique around her. Ooh, some mystique around Ju-A. Apparently, these are anonymous news sources that claim the local government has issued orders for women named Ju-A to change their birth certificates. I highly doubt this is happening. This will just create a whole cluster disaster as far as administration goes over there. But, you know, who knows? Who knows? One source said yesterday the Ministry of Security in Jeongju City summoned women registered with the Resident Registration Department under the name Jue to the Ministry of Safety to change their names. The source added that a 12-year-old girl in their neighborhood was named Jue, and her parents were told to report to the ministry to change their birth certificate. A second source stated that the authorities said that the name must be changed within a week. Authorities say her name is now reserved for persons of the highest dignity, whatever that means. Man, in that country, people of the highest dignity, I guess, means they support as little personal freedom as possible. I'm sorry to everyone with the name Jue, but I think if you add an underscore after it, you can probably get away with it, right? Jue underscore, that could be a thing. Because there can only be one Jue. There can only be one. Well, you got to give it to North Korea. If this is true, they're just making you change your name. It's not like they're chopping off your head in the town square, which, would that surprise you? I don't, you know what I mean? The sort of lengths that they go to over there to keep people in line. There can only be one Jue. Now, according to one source, the South China Morning Post, which sounds legitimate, North Korea has historically prohibited people from using the same names as its leaders and their immediate families in the past. The practice of forcing people to change their names is a part of the regime's effort to respect their leaders. Even Kim Jong-un prohibited people from holding his name in 2014. During the rule of Kim Jong-un's father, Kim Il-sung, people were banned from possessing Il-sung's name as well. Now, that Kim Il-sung character, I think that's the guy who's credited with inventing the burrito. They even drew a mural of him serving the first burrito to somebody. Obviously somebody without his name, because you weren't allowed to have that. Well, how sad and ridiculous per usual over there. And if you happen to be living in North Korea listening to this podcast, I don't know if you are or if you can. I don't think Weird AF News is allowed in North Korea, to be honest. But you never know. Just want to say, hey, ladies, you can move over to the States and call yourself Jue. You can call yourself Jue Il-sung. You can call yourself Illmatic Jue. You can call yourself Burrito over here if you want. You can go to the post office. You can go to the town hall and file the paperwork to change your name to Il Burrito. I mean, we let you do that here. It's pretty cool. You should come and check it out, what we got going on over here. You might get shot, but you can call yourself Il Burrito for as long as you're alive. Help me, I think I need some Weird AF News. When I get a crazy fix for some weird news and I need some weird news, I go to Weird AF News. I go to Weird AF News. You know I do. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. Yay! The best cars to have sex in, according to a poll. Getting busy in a car can be a lot of work, especially in small spaces. But if you can get things going in the right vehicle, it can be nearly as comfortable as a hotel room. Well, almost. Last week, a survey was sent out to name the best cars to have sex in, and they got some interesting responses. It was all done in the spirit of Valentine's Day, and they compiled a list of cars that they recommend for a little bit of romance. We have number one, the Honda Element. Ooh, I'm looking at a photo of the interior of this 2008 Honda Element. All the seats can lay down. I guess this is why it makes the top of the list. At this point, it doesn't even look like a car. It looks like a very large van. All the seats have been laid down. A lot of room in here for some hanky-panky, pardon my language. The second car listed is the Vector W8, which I am unfamiliar with. I had to look it up. It's a very expensive luxury vehicle that costs around $1 million. At that point, just buy a house and have sex in the damn house. You know, you could probably get a jacuzzi in the back too for this price in certain areas. So, third is the Jeep Wrangler, which I like to see. I do dig Jeeps very, very much. I never thought to get it on in a Jeep Wrangler, but now that they've posed the idea of it sounds lovely. I'm down for a Jeep Wrangler. Top comes off, Then we have an Audi MK1. This looks like a very expensive vehicle. Dodge Ram 50, which is a truck, a pickup truck, and it doesn't indicate whether they suggest you have sex in the back of the pickup truck or in the cab, but I'm assuming both areas will work for the Dodge Ram. I don't know. You guys will have to try and get back to me on this. Then we have the Honda SMX, which, similar to the Element, you can lay down everything. This one looks like the best because the way you lay down the seats, there's like not a lot of creases there. It looks like they're more like benches. It looks like a real flat mattress surface that you could have sex in this thing. The Honda SMX looks pretty sweet to me, I have to say. Now, of course, you have to have a Cadillac on this list, right? Cadillac's so comfortable. They're saying the Cadillac Fleetwood is a good suggestion to get it on. And if you've ever been in a Cadillac, you know how comfy they are. Just a lovely suggestion. Then they have the Pontiac Grand Prix, which is a bit of a sporty vehicle. I've never found them to be spacious enough, but they're saying that this is a good car. I had a Pontiac Grand Am. I believe it was a 2001. Don't suggest that as a vehicle to get it on, and not a lot of room in there either. Then they have the Plymouth Barracuda. This is an old school vintage car. I don't know who even has these anymore. Tough to find, but large interior on the Barracuda. Looking good. Then they have something called, no, this has got to be a joke here, the Peel P50. What is this? It looks like a miniature vehicle here. Anyways, let's jump to the next one. Toyota RAV4, which I disagree. The RAV4 is not a lot of space in there. I don't like that one. This one's nice. Mercury Grand Marquis. This is a very large luxury vehicle. It's got like Lincoln vibes, Cadillac vibes, a lot of space in there. Leather, comfortable seating. That's a lovely one. You want a place that's like comfy and spacious at the same time, and the Mercury, that definitely covers those bases. The last on the list is the Subaru Outback wagon, and I like the idea of that. It's got a lot of space. It's a wagon, a hatchback. That's good. And it can take you to those remote places that you want to get to if you're going to get it on in your car, because sometimes the authorities, they like to get involved in that situation. I've even heard stories of people being written a ticket for public indecency because they were getting it on in a car. But with your Subaru Outback, you can go to some remote place. You can climb a mountain or get deep into the woods and no one's going to catch you. So that's nice. It offers the privacy element. Now, for my listeners, maybe there's a car that you have experience with that should be on this list that didn't make it. Please call the show and let me know. 646-450-2012. If you want to share a personal story about that, just keep it clean for the kids. No video, please. I don't want that. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Weird AF News. I appreciate it. My loyal listenership is dear to me. We'll keep the outro brief. I want to read a couple of reviews I got up top, including on Amazon. We got Steve, who doesn't like the show, gave me 1 star and wrote pathetic at best. And then he wrote, seriously? This podcast is horrible. Anyone who would find this host funny is easily amused. Oh, poor Steve. Sounds like he's missing some things in his life. I hope he gets some help. Sounds like an angry individual. Then we have a nice review from Cabalita. Beautiful name. Lovely photo. 5 stars. Weird AF News is a great way to end the day. I enjoy ending my days with some weird news. It's very entertaining. It makes the end of my day great. I always end up laughing, especially for Florida Fridays. Keep them coming, LOL. Thank you, Cabalita, for spending some time and writing me a 5-star review. I appreciate the support very, very much. It helps take away the 1 star that Steve gave me. So that's great. We're evening it out a little bit. If you guys want to leave a review, it's very helpful. You can go to Amazon or Apple Podcasts or leave me some stars on Spotify. It's pretty easy to do. Just click on the 5 stars. You don't have to write anything. But thank you. It all helps. Appreciate that. If you'd like to email me articles, because tomorrow's Friday, we're doing Florida Friday. Any weird news from this week out of Florida would be helpful. You can email me anything to funnyjones@gmail.com, or you can slide them into my DMs on Instagram @funnyjones as well. If you want to support the show by joining the Patreon, that's a great way to do it, because you get extra Weird AF content when you become a member of the Patreon, and you get to converse and interact with some other weirdos / fans of the show that are in there. It's a little bit of a community. Pretty cool. It's patreon.com/weirdafnews, or go to weirdafnews.com. Click on the Patreon banner. All right, we'll see you tomorrow for Florida Friday. Looking forward to it. Thanks, everyone.